Please welcome Bhumi Pednekar.
Thank you so much.
Yasmin Karachiwala. You had to put on 30 plus kilos for Dum Laga Ke Haisha.
Yes, never do that again. There was a point where I was burning up to 1300 calories in a session. And then I felt sick. Eventually it became about my mental health.
People have to realize, listen to your body.
Yeah.
My fitness journey started because of Mr. Akshay Kumar.
Did you have any issues with your body image?
I had thick thighs, bigger breasts when I was growing up in school, and I was bullied for it.
What are different ways we should be training?
Pilates does is it stretches you with strength.
I was in hospital. I lost 12 kgs and I lost half of my hair. People have asked me if I've removed a rib.
Really?
Relationship with my body, which has taken so much work.
Yeah.
So much work.
One thing that perhaps women are doing wrong.
This is what I want to tell everyone who consumes protein.
This might be very controversial, but again, this works for me, so I'm just gonna put it out there.
So for as long as people have known me, physical fitness has been a very central part of my life. I think it's visible on my social media, it anchors my daily routine, and it gives me a sense of strength and balance that now I have come to rely on. Strength training, especially, has become non-negotiable for me. But like many women, I've also heard comments about what my body should look like. And in fact, I feel like, I don't know if it's just India or for women in general, people like to comment on our appearance, our skin, our weight, our height. And some of those people can be closest to us. Even my mother often says, I'm looking too muscular, for example. What makes today's conversation even more important is the landscape around us. So for years, very few women in India have entered a gym or engaged in strength training. Culturally, fitness for women was limited to staying slim, looking toned. But I'm very happy that now, today, things are changing. There's a growing awareness. More and more women are going to the gym, lifting weights, choosing, understanding nutrition, and reclaiming strength as a part of their identity. Not as an aesthetic goal, but as an investment into their future selves. And this episode is a reflection of that shift. Hello and welcome to All About Her, a space where we have honest and meaningful conversations about women's health, wellness, happiness, and self-care. And today, we are exploring fitness as a holistic journey, one that includes physical fitness, discipline, nutrition, recovery, mental well-being, and an honest understanding and connection with our bodies. Our first guest is a woman whose journey reflects purpose and progression. She's taken on demanding roles, she's undergone major physical transformations, and she's spoken honestly about her personal health challenges, whether it's living with eczema, navigating weight fluctuations, or shifting to a fully vegetarian lifestyle. She's become a strong voice for sustainability. Her climate initiatives, mindful lifestyle choices, and shift to vegetarianism, I think all reflect a larger commitment to conscious living. Authentic, aware, and driven by intention, please welcome Bhumi Pednekar.
That was so sweet.
Thank you
so much.
Our second guest is a pioneer in India's fitness landscape, an expert who introduced the country to Pilates long before it became mainstream, and someone who I think has consistently championed sustainable, intelligent, body-aware training. Her work has empowered thousands of women and some men, from newcomers to some of the biggest names in cinema, to move with intention, to build strength wisely, and to prioritize longevity over quick results. Her philosophy has reshaped the way India understands movement, recovery, and strength. So please join me in welcoming Yasmin Karachiwala. Thank you. Thank you both for being here. As I was saying earlier, thank you for confirming at the very last minute.
I know, I'm sorry.
And giving me 3 hours to come up with some scintillating questions.
But I know you're going to kill it. You're going to figure it out.
If I don't,
You're your followers. We've seen
Yeah.
all 30 of your episodes.
well, only like 19 of them are out. Because we recorded 30. So there you are caught.
I've seen all 90
Yeah. Too late now. You've lost all credibility. Don't believe a word she says. No, but honestly, thank you very much. We've done so many episodes on All About Her. And the one that I've really wanted to do is one which touches a little bit on physical fitness as well as other things.
No,
Both of you.
honestly, I think we're also going to have a lot to learn from you because I am obsessed with your fitness journey, with everything that you do on Instagram. I have to tell you, Soha, there are days when I don't feel like getting out of my bed and then suddenly there's a video of yours or of Kunal's that pops up and y'all are doing like some insane things in the gym and I'm like, get up, get your ass off your bed and just go workout, and then I'm like, thank God I did that.
Oh, thank you. I wish now. I think it's feedback like that makes me get out of bed, because there are many times I don't want to, and there are many times that I don't.
Yeah.
And then I just upload
I
these
don't
videos
think
into
though that many times can't be many. It must
there
be
are
a
many
few
times.
times.
I think also,
So
and
I've
I'll
known
ask
you for many years, and you're always.
I want to ask, like, how much of it is genetic, because I feel like a lot of body types and not ability, but propensity to gain weight, hormonal imbalance, we inherit, maybe we don't, and you can tell me about it in a bit. I will ask you both. And I thought I'll ask you, there's a lot on your plate. How disciplined are you generally when it comes to life? Work, exercise, food, all of it.
Actually, this year has kind of been a very new experience for me, because I took off for the first time in my life by choice. I've taken 6 months off.
6 months?
Wow.
I've taken 6 months off. I've never had the courage to do that in the past, because I was so insecure that I might lose out on something. What's gonna happen? How am I gonna had to take this time off for just like reconstructing myself in every way possible. And before this, when I was like shooting 4 films in a year and everything was crazy, I had a great schedule, because I would wake up at 3 a.m., 3:30. The first thing I did was I would get in a workout. I don't think I've ever missed a workout while I was shooting. Eventually, when I started my journey, for me, working out was just about losing weight. And then eventually it became about my mental health. So for me, it gives me a lot of focus and clarity, even if it's just 20 minutes of any form of movement. You know, it's just something that I need to do. But now that I'm not shooting, I have been a little... what's the word? I don't know. Like, I don't work out as much. I am genuinely just like easy right now.
Because
and
you're on
it's
a break.
okay.
Maybe you're resting.
Okay.
I'm resting. And again, my relationship with the gym, with my body has changed so much over the last 10 years. And I really feel like I'm in a very positive space with my body, which has taken so much work. So much work. And I'm glad I've reached out.
It's not usual to see a female actor eat 2 vada pavs in an interview.
Yeah, I love food.
Yeah,
I do. And there was nothing there. And I know that you've never eaten a vada pav. Oh, what? You've never had a pani puri?
I'm not a chaat person.
Can we go for a pani puri
I was
party?
obsessed. Can we call for some today?
But I mean,
maybe let's change.
Anyway, enough about me.
Yeah.
You tell me. So
I do
you
enjoy
like
food a lot. Again, my relationship with food was very different until I fixed it. Now I have a lot of clarity about, I have a calorie count and I try not exceeding that in a day. I could be shooting about 1100.
1100.
Yeah.
Isn't that lower than...
It's low.
Yeah. 1100, but it works for me.
Okay.
Look, I have also reached this 1100, 1200 calorie number because I have gone through a lot of like health issues, a lot of gut issues. I've done every kind of possible, I've tried to fix myself in many ways, but this is what worked for me.
Okay. And this
I
is
do 2 meals a day.
So is this the 1100s in consultation with somebody, or is this
Yeah. I started working with a nutritionist 3 years ago because, I mean, you spoke of my eczema. I developed eczema. I actually realized that I have an autoimmune condition when I was shooting for a film called Bala, where my right side completely, like, it was just swelling up and it just wasn't stopping. So many shots in Bala, I've only given my left profile, which I do prefer.
That was convenient to get it on the wrong side.
And that kind of scared me. And then COVID hit and I just didn't know what to do because, you know, there was so much of anxiety and stress and just uncertainty that all of us were going through. Consulting a doctor for that experience did not make sense then because ecosystems were crumbling.
Yeah.
Eventually that turned into allergic rhinitis, which then developed into pre-stage psoriasis, eczema. And I found out about this because my mom at 70, and my mom has always been very healthy, very fit. She's not somebody who would binge outside. She's just been very conscious of her health, but she was diagnosed with reactive arthritis. And the doctor asked her, does your daughter have eczema or pre-stage psoriasis? She's like, yeah. He's like, That's how he kind of realized that, because it's also genetic,
Right.
and it usually triggers when you are under extreme stress. Anyway, coming to the point that I kind of realized this works for me.
I've understood that now. You think consciously about what you eat.
Absolutely.
You have a calorie sort of goal in mind.
Yeah,
Sometimes-
1100 to 1200.
That must have been those 2 vada pavs in the car that day.
I hope not, because I didn't have
done.
another meal after that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's okay to go off
Yes.
and, you know, do what you want to do or eat what you want to eat. And
Yeah.
I think the body, I mean, when you're doing it all the time, once in a while, I think your body allows you to go off route and, you know, enjoy something that you really like.
Absolutely. Many things that I want to touch on with you. I'm so happy that you're here. I have so much respect for the both of you, but I really feel like what you've done with Pilates in India, and now you're taking it all over the world in all kinds of ways. You've got lots of exciting things planned that we were talking about before this. And I wish you all the best with that. You've been doing this for more than 30 years. You look phenomenal. Can we disclose how old you are?
That's
55.
55. And you look fantastic. And I was
you.
discussing all these things that I'm looking at now in my mid 40s. And you were like, oh, hormonal imbalance was not a big deal for me. Menopause or perimenopause was not a big deal for me. Working out and getting that energy has not been a challenge for you. And of course, you must have had some challenges along the way. But for somebody who's watching this who doesn't understand what Pilates is, firstly, something that you know so well, could you explain that for us?
So Pilates, which is now used by so many people, and you know, people are throwing it around, but do people really understand that it is working from your core? And your core is not just your abdominals. Your core is your deepest abdominal muscle called your transverse abdominis. It's the deepest spinal muscle called the multifidi. It's your diaphragm and your pelvic floor. So I like to explain it like a Coke can. So the body of the Coke is your transverse abdominis, the top is your diaphragm, the bottom is your pelvic floor, and then you put a straw in it, and that's your multifidi. So when you work all this together, you generate power from inside out, and then, you know, whether it's your posture, whether it's your hormones, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's your muscular strength, everything falls into place. And the side effect of it, unfortunately, is that you look great.
I agree. I agree.
That you
I do.
Yes.
I
And
do.
you started doing it when?
I started doing it 8 years ago. My fitness journey started because of Mr. Akshay Kumar. So until then, I did a film with him called Toilet Ek Prem Katha. And I obviously have had this transformation, everybody knows about it, but I still didn't have like enough tools. I didn't know what strength training was. I was just given a gym membership by my then producers that, okay, now you go knock off your weight. I didn't have a dietitian, I had nothing.
Right.
I didn't have the money for, or I did not even know, I did not have access. I didn't know, right? You know, what do I do with myself? So between my mum, I, and our kitchen, and this gym membership that I had, I lost like 45 kgs.
Over how long?
So I lost my first 20 over 4 to 5 months. And then it was like, maybe over the next year, I lost another 20.
I want to come to that in just a bit, but I want to clear up a misconception, and you can do that better than me. A lot of people feel Pilates is just something you do when you're recovering from an injury, something that is easy, and something that only women do.
So Pilates was invented by Joseph Pilates, who's a man, during World War I. He was a German. He was stationed in one of the internment camps as a boy who used to, you know, a ward boy. And he would watch these soldiers on their bed with probably one limb missing or two. And his father was a professional boxer, a bodybuilder. His mother was a naturopath. And he himself did a lot of exercise. So he used to watch these soldiers in their bed who couldn't move, they were immobile. So he used the springs of the bed. In those days, the bed had springs, and started in his free time making him do some movement. The last pandemic that hit, which was the influenza, where a lot of people died before COVID, his group of soldiers that he was working with didn't get affected by it and didn't die. And that's when he realized the power of what he was making them do. And till today, if you see the Pilates machines, they're all springs.
Yeah, it looks a bit
And
like
it came from the springs of the mattresses that he used. After World War I, the German army wanted to recruit him, and he didn't want to have anything to do with Germany, so he got on a ship and went to America and started a Pilates studio. So Pilates was originally invented by a man for men.
Fantastic.
What Pilates does is it stretches you with strength. So there is madness to movement, there's mindfulness to movement. So you move very mindfully, and then all the dancers started going. So that's how it got, translated. But today there are sports people, like all the cricketers around the world except India, and all the footballers around the world do Pilates.
I love what she's like,
except India.
It'll come.
It'll come. I think
Like they're finding it. They
Yeah.
feel like, oh, it's my recovery time. Still, let me go. But I've like trained Hardik, and I've trained Zahir and Ajit, and they are great. They love it. And the best thing, what people don't realize who play sport, is Pilates connects with them immediately.
Sure.
They find the benefit of that movement and connect it to their sport. If they're broad-minded to try it, I think it'll be great for them.
Why did you choose Pilates?
For me, I was actually looking for something that wouldn't be very hard on my back. That's how my journey started. And I just went in for a trial session and I completely loved it. The reason I loved it so deeply was because just the concentration that went into every movement.
And
You
the
know,
small
there is
muscles.
a certain way you breathe. These are like micro muscles of yours, and I did not even know this muscle existed in my body.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. I just love the practice around it.
Yeah.
I actually also have a Pilates chair that travels with me everywhere, because going around with a reformer will be pushing it.
What does this chair look? I mean, it's
It's the Wonder Chair. The Wonder Chair.
The
It's
Wonder Chair.
fantastic.
And you can pack it up and take it with you.
It's about that big. It's not bad at all.
No, I mean,
And
I've
it
seen your
has
car,
like
so
all
like
of these.
for you, you like big things.
I have a truck that
you have a
travels
truck.
with me
You
every
need a
time.
truck, obviously. You've got these 5 bags
Oh God.
that you bought
You're
today.
giving away everything from my life, Soha.
I wanted to ask you because, of course, you refer to the fact in many interviews that you had to put on 30 plus kilos
Yes.
for Dum Laga Ke Haisha,
Yes.
which a lot of people would be worried about. That what is that going to do to me to put on that? I mean, I think all of us would know putting on that amount of weight would put certain amount of stress on your knees,
100%.
perhaps your back. Also, you've shared that the way that you put it on was not the healthiest
No,
way.
it was horrible.
Just eating
Never do that again.
bad things.
It was disgusting. I wouldn't ever do that again. I was really young. I had this opportunity, and all I ever wanted to do in my life was act.
Yeah.
And I had this opportunity to be a heroine out of YRF, and I would have done anything. I would have like chopped a finger off. But I again did not have the right guidance. I did not know anything about nutrition. Having said that, I come from a family where nutrition is given a lot of importance.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really listening to them.
Yeah.
You know, I was also at an age where I was like, no mom, you know nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I had. So it was just 8 months of me eating everything. At that point, I was really enjoying it because I didn't know better. But now that I know what my relationship with food is and how it can trigger things that I don't want triggered in my body, from your mood to your gut, which is your second brain. That's not, I don't think people in India understand how important is gut health to your cortisol levels. I wouldn't ever do that because for a year I was just eating.
Yeah.
And then for a year, actually when I started my journey, knocking off the weight is when I started understanding what food is, because then, you know, we were on the internet trying to look for ways of like, you know, from within my kitchen, how do I knock the weight off? And we did.
And that's, you said, when in the first 3 months you lost 20 kilos and then in the next year you lost
and then it was
another 20
eventually
kilos.
like 3-4 kgs every month.
And how did that make you feel, not just on the outside but on the inside? What does that do to your mental health, your hormones, your skin? Like,
So to knock off the weight, I actually went completely underground because I had a larger purpose in front of me, which was that I wanted to be closer to how I was before I started the film, by the time the film released. Because I did not want to be stereotyped, which is like a harsh reality of where we are. So I had blinders on. I was like, okay. I went underground for 6 months. I would barely meet my friends. I'm a very, very social person. Like very social. It's a very big deal for me that I kind of like didn't meet anybody. If people wanted to meet me, they had to come home. And I was eating non-vegetarian food then. So there was a lot of grilled chicken, eggs. I was only running because I didn't know what to do in the gym.
Right.
And I was also kind of dealing with body image issues because I wasn't really allowed to tell anybody why I'd gained all of that weight.
Right.
So when somebody met me 8 months ago, I was a different person, and then they met me like after after I was done shooting the film, I was a different person. So I was asked, I said, are you okay?
Yeah.
Is there depression around? Like, what is happening? Like, is your mental health in check? But I obviously wasn't allowed to tell anyone. And even in the gym, because my gym was in an era that I've grown up in, I would still meet my friends and I would be embarrassed. So I was only on this cardio machine, running, walking. Started off with walking, went into running, and eventually I found my love for strength training and Pilates, and I just love it.
What do most people come to you with, Yasmin, when they come to you? Is it to lose a ton of weight? Is it post-pregnancy? And I'm talking about the women here. I know that you have a lot of male clients.
Most of the people come with a misconception of what they want.
Right.
Like most of the people.
They don't know what they want.
They don't know what they want.
And then you
so
tell
they want to lose weight. They don't understand that it's not a magic wand that makes you lose weight. And it's not an exercise program or the way we do something. There's so much more. There's understanding your body, there's understanding your limitations, there's understanding what you love doing, and it's a combination of all of this put together that will actually start you on that process and your relationship with food.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have people who come, sometimes I have people who come just to lose weight. Sometimes I get people who want to get fitter, they're very weak, they want to get stronger. I have people who only want to lose weight from this area of them.
I think I know that person.
We hear less and less of that. I hear less and less of that now. 10 years back, it was crazy. But I think overall what people want to do is be healthier, fitter, and lead a fitter life, and understand what they're doing and understand that it goes hand in glove. You cannot work out for 1 hour and then go eat whatever you want. And they say 70% is made in the kitchen and 30% in the gym. And do you know why why they say that?
Why?
How many hours in a day?
24. Don't ask me more difficult questions.
How many hours maximum does a person work out?
45 minutes to an hour.
Or maximum push it 2.
My God.
Push it.
Okay?
50 minutes.
How many hours left if you take 2 out of 24? 22. Sleep for 8 hours. How many hours?
Right.
How many hours?
14. Okay, 14.
I'm starting to
so
sweat
your
here.
2 hours of workout, you need to manage the 14 hours that you're awake.
Therefore, that's the...
And therefore, it matters what you put into your mouth for the hours that you're awake. Right. So that is 70% of your time, and 2 hours is your 30%.
Sometimes you get daunted by the fact that we need to go to the gym 5 times in a week. And what you said was, how much can you give? Anything is better than 0. So don't let that daunt you. It's like reading a book also. A lot of people are not readers. If you say, I have to read the whole book, then you might not get it. But even if you just read a little bit.
A paragraph.
That's also
small.
okay. A couple of things you said were like, your relationship with food has changed.
Drastically.
And if you could tell us a little bit about that. And also you said Akshay Kumar introduced you to this fitness journey.
Yes.
So how did that fitness journey start?
So before I realized what strength training is, Akshay sir introduced me to strength training. This was right before I started shooting for a film called Toilet Ek Prem Katha. He has this wonderful trainer that he trains with called Jenny.
Jenny.
And he's like, I'm going to put you onto Jenny. Because, by then we'd met a couple of times. I told him, because he's also such a fitness enthusiast, कि sir, मैं तो gym में से भागती हूँ. And he probably was shocked. He's like, what? And Jenny helped me a lot. So the first time I had the hula hoop around me, or the first time I actually lifted real weight, was with her. And that changed my life. In every way possible. I love lifting. It gives me such a sense of like an achievement But I'd also like gone through a phase where my relationship with working out was also a little problematic because I had that Apple Watch on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say
Obsessive.
watch. And I was obsessed, man.
Yeah.
I had like a calorie, like the number of calories I burnt per workout. I would like put it on Instagram. Then I would get a lot of validation from like people following me that, wow, you've done it. There was a point where I was burning up to 1300, 1400 calories in a session. And then I felt sick.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't sustainable. It was really stupid. I was only doing it for
But that's
external
also okay,
validation.
you know, it's all right for you to go through that phase.
Absolutely.
Like,
So I've really corrected a lot in the last decade, and now I'm in a very like healthy, normal, balanced relationship with food and working out, which I feel is so important. Because I always felt like there's this term called skinny fat. But I was like, you know, I'm working out. Why can't I see that muscle? Like, why? Because my body, the inflammation in my body was unmatched. Also because I had an underlying condition.
Yeah. I think to
which
understand
kind
the
of
root cause.
triggered it.
Yeah.
And then I started studying my body. And so now actually I work out I probably my workout's gone down by 70% of what I used to do. Because honestly, you need that 45 minutes of intense whatever you do, whatever form of workout you practice, that's all you need. I was doing 2.5, 3 hours, anything was happening, two workouts in a day. During COVID, I'd completely lost my marbles. I'd completely gone crazy because I had so much time. I have a beautiful gym that I built in my building. Because I love working out. Me and my sister and I, both of us, completely love going to the gym. And at times I would go at 2 a.m. because I had no schedule.
Wow. Right. Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah. And food, I feel like now, because you said 1100 calories, that means you must be missing a few things.
I'm also vegetarian, you know, so that has helped me a lot because for me, I don't really consume a lot of milk. I don't have milk in its only form. I do have cheese, butter. So it's between 11 and 1200 calories. Let me ease it out a little. But I do just 2 meals in a day.
Yeah.
I don't follow a 3-meal structure. I have 1 meal, that's usually my breakfast and lunch. And then I have my dinner.
Are you doing the intermittent fasting?
Not really. I've done that as well. It didn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work for me.
It was horrible.
It works for me.
But that obviously it works for some and not for some.
Yeah,
I feel like for me...
And see, that's another thing that people need to find what works for their own
Absolutely.
body. So like a lot of people say, breakfast is the best meal of the day and you should. For me, breakfast doesn't work. And I've tried it. Like I've tried to eat breakfast. For me, what happens is if I start my morning eating, I eat the whole day.
So do I. I know what you mean.
I want to eat the whole... Like, you know, sometimes you're out for a party late night and you eat at 3 in the morning or whatever because you've not eaten since, lunch maybe. I wake up the next day hungry.
Yes, that happens.
After eating at 3 in the morning. And I'm like, what is... And then I've just realized that for me, eating between a certain period doesn't work for my body. And I work out in my intermittent window. And I have more energy than all my workout partners. So I'm like, okay, it's working for me. And
do you work out on an empty stomach, full stomach?
I have to work out on an empty stomach.
Really?
I can't work out if I have food in my system. I've tried doing it. It makes me sick. My output or I'm not very productive in the gym then. I'm very lethargic. I don't feel like doing anything. That's why my first meal, actually, this might be very controversial, but again, this works for me. So I'm just going to like put it out there. I kind of eat a heavier dinner.
At what time though, typically?
7, 8. I don't have, I mean, it depends. Look, when you're shooting, then there is like a lot of discipline that by 7, my food's in my system. By 9, I'm in bed. But again, when you're shooting, at times you're shooting nights, there's no like surpair to our schedule, right? But now, honestly, it's between 8 and 9. I sleep by 12. I wake up at 8, 10 o'clock I'm in office. And this is what I'm doing right now. But this is what I have realized, that if I eat a very heavy meal for lunch, my brain doesn't function. And it's not an insulin spike because I've gone through like the reading as well, because again I have this underlying condition, so I just want to make sure whatever I put into my body usually is fuel instead of just like craving, which I try to.
So for me, I work out on an empty stomach and I can work out after a meal.
Wow.
I can, like, it's like, my body just says, this is what you got to do. But I know that you shouldn't work out after a meal because after you eat, digestion needs to be respected.
Right.
You know, you need, and that's why you don't
Such
want
a nice
to
way
work
of
out.
putting it.
Yeah, digestion needs
So-
to
It
be
needs to be respected.
Because
I love
that
it.
is one of the most difficult functions of your body, and you need to give that break. And when you eat a very, very heavy meal, you know, sometimes you want to sleep. That's because you've overloaded your system with too many different types of food, and your system is saying, relax.
But I can
need
have
to do my work."
a small breakfast of protein and fats, no carbs.
Yeah,
That's what I do in the morning. And then I give it, I'm going to stretch it and say 45 minutes. Then
That's
it's 5
great.
minutes. And then I go to the gym.
But then also go to the gym takes another 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah, but it's
right?
downstairs.
Okay, downstairs. That's
3
fine.
minutes. But yeah.
Because it works for you.
But it works
Soha.
for me because
So that's the
intermittent
thing.
and now
What people
my
have
hormones up and
Yeah,
down.
what people have to realize is that listen to your body.
Yeah.
Your body will tell you
Yes.
what to do, except when your body tells you to eat junk food. Don't listen to
Yeah,
your body
I
close.
completely agree with you.
That's
I
what
don't
I used to
always
do when
listen.
I was a teenager.
Why are you vegetarian now?
My journey started because of like just moral issues. I
Oh, I
got
see,
a
okay.
puppy and I was like, no, now I can't do it. And I've been working the space of sustainability for a while, and there was a lot of information that came my way, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
It just switched. The first year was very tough. I gained a lot of weight because I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm eating that much cottage cheese, and like just there was just chaos in my life. But since then, when I kind of figured what should my meal actually consist of, how do I bring in protein? Even protein is such a bastardized topic in my opinion, because there was a point where I was getting in like 120 grams. I don't know, this is what worked for my body. My inflammation was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
120 grams of protein.
Yeah, I've done crazy things.
Tell me what that expression means.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot,
So-
especially for a woman.
Yeah. If you weigh 60 kilos, you should have at least 60 grams of
Yeah.
protein.
Okay.
If you're working out, 1.2 or 1.5 of body per gram of per kilo of body weight.
Right.
But this must be more than double of body weight,
Yeah, but I was
which is
feeling very,
which is when
very
you're
hard then.
weightlifting.
Yeah, I
Like
was lifting
heavy.
then. I was lifting about, my deadlifts were like 80 kgs, 90 kgs. I was really into it, and then I had to re-strategize.
Yeah.
However, now I consume about 60
Yeah.
grams
Sounds
of
about right.
protein,
Right.
Yeah.
which is
But about finding the right sources of protein when you're a vegetarian.
so something that I do take a protein shake because I can't avoid it, especially when I'm working out.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
love
don't
it.
say it like you're guilty. Like,
No, no,
okay,
no, 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 no,
it's
not at all.
great.
But you did say like I
just
do take a
feel-
protein
I do
shake,
take.
you know.
Did I?
It sounded
Yeah,
apologetic.
it sounded
Did
very,
I?
yeah.
Okay, I did
I
not
take a protein
I
shake.
take a protein shake,
Yeah.
and I'm very conscious of foods that I eat
Yeah.
that have like strong sources of protein.
Yeah.
So I do consume cottage cheese. There's broccoli in my food. There's soy, little soy, because
Yeah.
a lot of it like aggravates me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have
Pulses, lentils,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tell
chia
me,
seeds,
Yeah. Tons
Chia
of
seeds.
chia
amaranth,
seeds.
so these are all
Millets.
sources.
millets.
These are all
Yeah,
vegetarian
and
sources.
now
of
you have
protein.
such amazing vegan protein shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plant-based.
Yeah.
Where are you on the whole plant-based?
I
Vegan.
only consume plant-based protein shakes. I only consume them. Whey doesn't work for my stomach.
So that's pea protein or
Yeah,
whatever.
there are lots in the market. But the most important thing, and this is what I want to tell everyone who consumes protein, is make sure that there are very few ingredients. Any protein powder that has more than 4 or 5 ingredients, stay away from it.
Okay.
Because those are chemicals going into your body. So that's what I like about the plant-based protein. They won't have, and also look at the sweetener source.
Yeah. So
It's
clean.
very important to have it as clean as
Yeah.
possible. And this, one of my instructor friends from Australia had told me many years back that the fewer and I found that
right.
the gas is less in your body, the bloating is less, you feel better, your gut is not feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, but for that I think you have to read
You have
the
to
packet,
read.
and
you have
not
to
many people
actually
read the packet.
the ingredients of everything
Yes.
you consume.
Yes.
Like right now in the market, there are sweeteners that are saying monk fruit,
Yes.
okay, which is the best sweetener.
it is.
Yes.
But check that it doesn't have
Chances are it has
erythritol.
sucralose as well.
Yeah,
So it shouldn't have
erythritol
erythritol
or
and-
sucralose.
Sucralose.
It should be pure monk fruit,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
I've only found abroad.
So,
Same.
so then you can't get it here.
Maybe they do, and I'm not.
Okay, but anyway, you
I've
should
not
check.
seen enough. Yeah,
Yeah, everyone's been crazy about monk fruit now. Monk fruit
but
and
they have to
stevia,
know.
I've been told, are the sugar substitutes that will not spike your sugar, basically. Physical fitness, I want to come back to that a little bit. Why is it so important for women? Of course, at different stages, but typically someone in their 30s, someone in their 40s. What is it actually doing to your body?
Because every decade we lose muscle mass. Okay, every decade we lose, and especially women perimenopausal and menopausal lose bone density as well. So do men, but at a much slower level, because women have estrogen and men have testosterone.
Yeah.
So it's really important for women to strengthen their muscles, because their muscles are going to protect their bones when they age and not get osteoporosis and arthritis and all of that. Strength training now doesn't necessarily mean going and lifting weights in the gym.
Absolutely.
It can be resistance training, it can be body weight training, yoga, Pilates. Everything has strength training in it. Your own body is the best weight that you can use.
Right.
And learn how to use if you don't want to spend money. So it's not expensive.
Right.
You can do exercises at home, but it is important. And this question of whether women will start looking like men, even if we tried,
We can't.
naturally,
We won't.
We won't. Even if we pray to God, we won't.
Right.
Right? We'll have to inject testosterone
Yes.
to start looking like men.
But that's what I'm always telling my trainer, because I have biceps and triceps.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I mean, it's-
love your arms. Like I love
thighs.
your
I
arms.
love your
Those are genetic and
Nice, but not
workout.
everybody likes being so muscular, and a lot
But
of
you're
people
not
feel
so muscular.
No, but even my
You're
mother,
just
like,
the
especially in this
right
podcast,
amount.
like, keep your arm down, because you keep your arm like this, it's looking very muscular. So maybe it's like now
sexy.
women are. Thank you very much. Now women are
Embracing it.
understanding that going to the gym is not just about looking thin, and being fit is not just about being slim. It's also about being strong. It's also about
strong.
being able to do the tasks that you want to be able to do for the next 20,
and
30
avoid
years.
your perimenopause and get your hormones in place and not be a hormonal mess every time you
Yeah.
get your period.
Yeah.
It's so important to weight train, to strength train, let's not say weight train, to build muscle.
But like you said, there's things that people can do at home.
Of course.
Does everyone have to be an A-lister to train with you?
No.
No?
Love it.
And if you don't want to train with me, I'm on YouTube
Yeah.
for
Nice.
free.
There you go. I don't know how many people know that.
Yeah.
Well, they do now. But it does cost. Pilates costs.
Pilates course.
Money.
But that's why now we have group classes. So
right.
when I started 20 years ago, I got one reformer from the US, one chair, one Cadillac, and I used to train because it was so expensive
Yeah.
to get machines. First of all, nobody in India had it, and I got one, and I used to train one-on-one, and people were like, "You're actually charging that much?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
do you know how much I paid for my education? And I went to the US to get trained. I lived there for like 3 months, and I got trained, and I had to like rent an apartment and get my own food, and I had to go twice to do one full Pilates training. And now of course it's available here and everything is much, and when I started, there was nobody teaching Pilates. So I used to do my personal training. Then slowly I got 2 reformers, 3, 4.
Right.
But my instructors were also doing personal training because that's what we used to do. But today the need of the hour is group classes. So
Yeah.
all my franchises, besides my own studio, do group classes, and those are very affordable.
Right.
So you go for a Zumba group class, or you go for a Pilates group class on the reformer,
Right.
is the same.
Right. Nice.
And it's more fun because the Gen Zs love it. They can go with their friend, with their Stanley.
I feel like when
and
you
pose
said
and
Gen
do
Z,
the
you did a little
Pilates.
bit of a silent eye roll. I
Yeah,
feel
both
like.
my sons are Gen Zs.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Bhumi, I wanted to ask you a little bit, and if I ask you things that make you uncomfortable, then tell me. That's not my intention at all. Were you ever uncomfortable about did you have any issues with your body image before you joined films? Did you feel
100%.
Internally, externally? I mean, I'm saying after you joined films is a different story. Even before
I
you were an
joined
actor.
films, I think it was a lot more before I joined films actually. Because I did not really look like the girls that I aspired to look like.
Yeah.
And it did not have anything to do with my weight. It was just what your general definition of beauty is. So I hated that extra. I mean, today I celebrate my legs. You know, back then I hated like I had thick thighs or I had bigger breasts when I was growing up in school, and I was bullied for it. So a lot of that also starts in school because I was just that child that started developing early. So like people would pick on me, and I hated it. I would like wear 2 sports bras and go to school because I just hated the fact that I have like
it hurts
breasts. Yeah, but I'm very fortunate to have had parents that they're just very cool.
And a sister.
And my sister. Yeah, but my sister, I think she became our relationship also changed as we grew older, because she is my younger sister. So she wasn't really a part of my turmoil when I was in school. And so I did have issues, but my parents have kind of given us a bit of a superiority complex. So I did constantly deal with it. And then I got into the films and I was like, okay, everything that I was picked on is the reason I got my first film. So.
But that is also, like, I'm saying that's amazing, but it also doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Nobody really gets picked on to do a film and then put on 30 more kilos.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Actually, no, maybe ever is pushing it. I don't see it happening in recent times.
But even now, I think people don't understand the demands on an actor. And
I've done this a couple of times.
I know.
After my first film, I again did a film called Sandkya, for which I'd gained about 12 or 14 kilos.
Do you seek out these body transformations?
I don't think I'm going to do that.
I think they
again.
seek her.
Yeah,
I mean, also because you're young now, so you would bounce
felt,
back.
Soha, I felt the impact of it. A lot of my condition was triggered because I wasn't respecting my body.
Yeah.
I would go from like, gaining 12 kgs to doing like a commercial masala film like a Pati Patni or wo, where I have to like drastically lose 8 of those 12 kgs in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I would do anything because my way of also, it had become my superpower, my physical transformation.
Yeah.
And I was really enjoying all the love that I got for it. But then my body started to give up.
Yeah.
As of what I told you earlier, the swelling that I had and my rhinitis was so bad during COVID that I would wake up with like 300-400 sneezes back to back. I would have spasms in my body. I would have had to shoot with it, and I'm still sneezing and my body's, it was horrible. And it's only food and changing my lifestyle that has helped me fix things. Like today I say no. I'm like, no, I don't think my body is ready to take on a part that's going to require that much because I'm not physically there. Hopefully in the next 2 years I will be physically there. Because people don't really understand that, the doctors kept telling me stress, but nobody told me it's my gut that I'm stressing.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was like, but I eat well, I work out, I'm doing everything right, then why am I always bloated? Why do I have inflammation? Why do I, and it frustrates you when you don't see results. Because it's not about what you weigh on the weighing scale. It's about how you look.
Feel.
And I'm like,
How you feel like.
Absolutely. I wake up at 4 a.m. Why am I looking like this on screen? Because if the character requires me to be a certain way, I don't care. I'm easy. I'm very comfortable in my skin. In front of the camera, I have no inhibitions. But when it needs me to look a certain way, or I've designed this character a certain way in my head, then why is it not happening?
And I'm saying it's not just actors, there's so many people.
Everyone.
In your normal, and even your normal CBC will not show up the inflammation, but there are deeper blood tests that you can do that will show
and
where
the whole
issue
thing is also how you feel inside,
how
right?
you feel, of course. How
it's
you feel.
like I told you when I when I menopaused, I put on 2 kilos, and I didn't feel myself in my body.
Yeah.
Like it was such, and my husband would be like, I can't even see it. Like I don't know what's all in your head, and I'm like, no, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
Like my body, of course, your body changes when you have, when you suddenly go into menopause. It's like a whole different world. But And then I like kind of worked through it and found out what was wrong with it and changed it, and that, yeah.
The weight loss, would you attribute it more to the food or the working out in the gym, or both? Like the 70-30 that you were saying?
Food.
It was basically, for you it was mainly the food.
100%. It was only the food. Because gym though, I didn't know anything. I was just like hiding my embarrassment. I didn't know what was I doing in the gym. It was everything that my mom got out of that kitchen.
Yeah.
It was also like her mission to like make sure I do it in a very healthy way. And I still have like loose skin. I have stretch marks.
But you're sculpted now. You're like, and you
Listen,
can see the
it's taken
hard
me
work that
10
you're doing.
years.
Yeah.
To get here. I've really worked my ass.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
but
have.
it shows.
I have.
But
I
doesn't it like,
worked
I feel
so
like,
hard.
doesn't it annoy you because people assume,
Oh my god, I know it does, because now people assume that you cannot knock off weight without injectables.
no, exactly, or they'll just say, okay, obviously she's taken Ozempic. I mean,
don't know.
But
man.
Ozempic wasn't there 8 years back when she
No,
lost her weight.
now. So basically, for this other character, I lost a lot of weight. I was in hospital because I was recovering from dengue.
Oh god.
I lost 12 kgs and I lost half of my hair.
Really?
Oh my god.
That happens with dengue?
It was, so I still have like hair growing. Like, so every time I blow dry my hair, there's just like layers of new hair growth. Again, worked very hard towards achieving that.
Yeah.
And I was reading it and I was like, I'd already lost a lot of my weight then because of dengue. It was bad. I had to be hospitalized. Because the first, and the pain that you go through is unmatched. And it was Diwali time and people were bursting crackers and I had just had a splitting headache. My jaws hurt, my pupils hurt. I was just in pain until I reached the hospital. And thank God I did, because my platelets were very, very low.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't listening to my mom and I was like, no, I'll fix it. And I was like doing everything possible, or Ayurvedic things, which I'm a big believer of. But at that time, I needed modern science to come.
No, absolutely. And that fourth day is very tricky. Like you have to do your blood test. And
So
if your platelets
by the
fall-
end of it, I lost about 10-12 kgs, lots of hair, lots of muscle.
Yeah.
And I was reading this and I was like, okay. And it's not like, it was just the timing of it was such. And it really, people have asked me if I've removed a rib. What? Removed a rib.
Yeah, the floating rib.
And something. What about the fact that I have put in 10 years of, since I became an actor, into eating right, working out, and doing everything possible. And honestly, it's not about your body size. It's not about that.
No.
If you look at people that do kushti in India, okay, they aren't ripped.
No.
They are strong.
Yeah.
The point is, I want to be strong.
Yeah.
I want to be strong because I want longevity.
Yeah.
I want to be strong because I want to feel young and full of energy all my life.
Yeah. So
And
how
that's
do you
why I
respond
do
to
what I do.
people? I mean, I don't even know if it comes to you.
Oh, of
People
course
just
it
talk in
does.
circles.
Listen, in Delhi, women straight up come and ask me.
Really?
हाँ, कि आपने भी Ozempic, Munjaro, whatever things that.
And what do
there
you say?
are.
You're just like,
And it's fine. Look, to each their
No,
own.
so the thing is, say मेरा चेहरा देखा है, Ozempic का चेहरा अलग होता है.
I know. I've been told that
there's an
it's
Ozempic
really-
face.
There's an Ozempic
which
face.
is not a good face.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, and it really
So your
like
face is
your
Yeah,
your
you
face
skin.
close and
Yeah. But people, what I'm saying
Ozempic
is,
लेना था तो जब 30 किलो लूज करना था तभी लेते.
बिल्कुल. And my thing is कि जो ले रहे हैं, honestly, I know of enough people that have consumed it, but they needed that medical assistance.
yeah.
So I will never judge anyone.
you can't
absolutely
judge.
not.
Each your own, your body, your choice, your rules, do whatever. But the fact is that I lost 40 kgs and more without injectables.
Yeah,
being
and
around.
that is the point. And I
I
know
know
that you
how to do it.
And the point is, you may not
And
care
you're
what other people
young.
feel.
I know how. I just know.
And
it's
she's
just-
so young.
I've done it so many times. Earlier, I was abusive towards my body. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
And a lot of just fixing my eczema, like you can still see patches. Like
Tell me about the eczema.
on
So
this
what
finger,
you said, the eczema is
on
connected
this,
to the
it's
food.
reduced a lot. Yeah.
Because my daughter also has
Is it?
eczema and a lot of children get it and then they grow out of it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, do
this
they?
age of 6, 7, 8, it's also connected to rhinitis, allergic rhinitis, because
Yes,
asthma,
of course it is.
asthma and skin apparently is deeply connected. So she has it here, and they say most people, 90% grow out of it. That's a statistic I've just made up, but 10% may not. Another statistic I made up.
So I didn't have any symptoms when I was growing up. But I did have like flaking on my scalp, etc. Nothing on my hands.
Yeah.
But again, nobody knew then. You know, they were like dandruff, dandruff. But it never healed, and I would control it, right? Wow, for some reason, it was controlled. The first time, after my rhinitis kind of reduced, and this is now in the last 2 years, I saw a little patch around my little finger and I freaked out because, you know, again, I'm somebody who's very aware of the changes that my body is going through. I really take very good care of my body. And at that time, I was only trying to fix my rhinitis because it was unbearable.
Yeah.
My eyes were always red on screen, my voice changed on screen, and you're always distracted. You don't want to be in that situation where I would go through like 20 napkins.
Yeah.
You know, and because I try and be sustainable, I wouldn't use like tissue paper.
Right.
And I would have like, it was bad. It was truly, I really hope nobody has to go through this. And then I saw like a little patch and all of my cuticle was eaten away. I went to a doctor and they are like, okay, it's eczema and this usually happens because you've had blah, 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 blah conditions. And then it started spreading all across my little finger and I freaked out. I was like, I'm an actor. What if I get patches on my face? Yeah. You know, and it's not contagious. Nothing really happens.
No, I know that.
But it's painful.
Yes.
Because your skin erupts.
It's dry.
And itchy.
And it can get infected.
It erupts. It bleeds.
Yes.
And then I would like, it kind of started like spreading over other parts of my hands. And then I just didn't know what to do. They would give me like steroid creams to apply, but it just doesn't help.
It goes away, it comes back with a vengeance.
And then I was like, okay, what do I have to do? I have to start fixing my body internally. And that's when my journey of reducing the amount I work out. Because the moment I would go into that madness of like 2 hours, my rhinitis would peak, my patches would peak.
Yeah.
It was just bad. And then I reduced my workout. I was very mindful of what was going into my body. I reduced the number of meals I was eating because I was like, there's a direct trigger between the amount I'm eating and the moment my gut goes out of control and my flare-ups.
Dairy.
Right. Dairy.
And
gluten, these are triggers.
Dairy, honestly, being very, very honest, my dairy consumption is not as much, but I still consume ghee and butter.
Yeah. But those are supposed to be the good forms of
yes. I have
Milk
yogurt.
like
Not.
I have yogurt.
Yeah. Again.
But I substituted a lot of coconut milk, almond milk into my
It's
diet.
the milk.
It's the milk in
And
that form.
also the milk, because now the milk is so adulterated.
That is
hormones.
the problem. You've
Yes.
cracked it.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
It's true.
So both my kids never drank milk.
Right.
I nursed them for 11 months and everyone used to think I was crazy.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine had told me, her mother was a naturopath, and she told me when I was in my 20s that the only animal that drinks another animal's milk
Is a human being.
is a human being.
Yes.
And if you see the growth rate of a cow from being born to full is 8 months.
Yes.
And a human is 18 years.
Yeah.
And we're putting that milk, and a calf only drinks milk of the
Right.
mother
Right.
till it is full grown.
Right.
And we are putting that milk into our body
Right.
and asking our body to deal with it.
Yeah.
So because the human body is so well conditioned, it can absorb anything, right? But it doesn't fully digest it. So it causes a layer around our intestine, which then later in life lead to multiple problems in your teenage years and your adulthood, which you can't relate back to how much milk you had as an infant.
Right. Yeah. As we come towards the end of this, I just wanted to bring it a little bit back to physical fitness. And to talk a little bit, because it's called All About Her, women's bodies, the hormones, the muscle mass that you referred to, what are different ways, if any, that we should be training specifically for women's bodies?
I feel you need to try a whole lot of different kind of workouts and find the one that speaks to you, the one that you enjoy doing. Like Bhumi's found Pilates and she carries her chair everywhere, right? And she also loves weight training, and she knows that these two things give her that happiness, that satisfaction. And all of us will find that connect with some form of exercise. And that's what we need to do, because that is what you will sustain for the rest of your life.
Right.
If you try to do something that you don't enjoy, you're not going to make it a habit. But whatever you do, add in a little bit of strength training.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be hours and hours. It can just be 5 exercises that you do every day for strength with everything else that you do. So everyone has that one aha moment of, oh my God, I love this.
You can call it an ah moment because that's like ah instead of
Okay. So I think everyone needs to try a whole bunch of things, especially the younger ones.
Yeah.
You know, not because it's Instagrammable or it's looking really cool, and that's also okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. But if you want to do something for the rest of your life, enjoy it, feel younger all the time, you know, till you become as old as me as
Or
well.
older. Tell us about some of your older clients. Like Helen Auntie.
Like Helen Auntie, oh my God, she's a rock star.
And she's 80.
85. She's going to turn 86 in 2
And she's-
days.
Yeah.
2 days, she turns 86, and we're doing a video again.
Yeah.
So Helen Auntie came in to work out with a stick. She's been a dancer all her life,
Yeah.
and then when she stopped, she just stopped doing anything. And because I know the Khan family really well, I would constantly meet her and I'd be like, Auntie, come do Pilates.
Yeah.
Till a point that I would walk into a party and Helen Auntie would do
Hide
this.
from you.
Okay, and I was like, Auntie, please don't do that. I won't say it to you anymore, you know. Yesterday when I entered a party, she stood up to give me a hug.
Oh, nice.
And she was like, I can stand and I will give you a hug, because I was bending over to say hello to all the older people, and she stood up and she said, I want to give you a hug. She started working out. She came into the studio with a cane. We started very slowly. We did 5 exercises with her that she could do, which is what we're going to show on Instagram soon. And slowly, she built her strength to now today she walks without a cane. She can walk up and down stairs. She can sit and stand without support. And she loves coming to the studio every single day.
Oh, nice. That's lovely.
You know, it's incredible how your body responds to
The right kind of
the
exercise.
right kind of
Yeah,
exercise. Like,
that's
because my mom has reactive arthritis,
Right.
I forced her into the gym. Like, she would go walk, she would do her yoga, everything. I was like, no, you have to start strength training.
Yeah.
And today she thanks all of us.
How old was she when she started strength training?
She was 65.
Yeah.
No, me older, 67.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe if she started even earlier.
100%. And we would be like uppercase. We'd be like, no, go. There would
Yeah.
be fights.
But-
But eventually she found it and she loves it.
And I believe there's no age.
No.
Look at Helen Auntie, she started at 84.
incredible.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. A lot of people feel like,
Yeah.
"Arey, abhi tak nahi hua, to abhi kya?
No,
What's the point?"
I meet people at parties and they're like, oh my God, we saw your reel with Helen Auntie, and we show it to our parents and we're like, please go, she's doing it.
Yeah.
And everyone can work out. You just have to do what you can do.
Yeah.
So as we come towards the end of this, one thing that perhaps women are doing wrong that you would like to correct.
Not listening to their bodies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not listening to their bodies. That means their gut, which is their
Yeah.
second brain, and their physical fitness, and not taking enough care of their
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah.
You know, not understanding that food and exercise are meant to nourish.
Yes. I feel like you have thick skin.
I do.
I have thick skin. I'm also the third. I have siblings. It's pretty much ignored growing up. And lots of positive criticism from within the family, constructive criticism. And then, of course, lots of people have opinions. And they genuinely, I really enjoy reading and engaging sometimes. And I've never really blocked somebody. It doesn't matter to me so much. As you said, like you referred to people coming up to you saying the strangest things, you've done so much work. It's not possible to do a lot of work and not get lots of hate also, which has no foundation.
Yeah.
It's just apparently trolls hate because they like attention also. So how do you deal with
How
that?
do I deal with it?
And does it at any point, like if you're unwell, if you're in the hospital, if you've lost someone in the family, you feel moments of vulnerability where your armor has chinks in it? And sometimes things get to you?
Absolutely. I mean, it's very human for you to have moments where you completely let the troll in your head connect with what the trolls outside are saying.
Yeah.
You know, so when that happens, it like completely crushes my self-esteem. But I'm very fortunate to have a very strong ecosystem around me. And my sister is a very big part of this journey, and she just pulls me out. But having said that, I am very thick-skinned. I feel usually underdogs are very thick-skinned. Right? And I've always been an underdog since school, because I always had that fire ki main tumhe ek din dikhaungi. You know, and that has just taught me a lot about just being resilient. So even when I have people, at times when it really is very loud, the noise, it does impact me. But then now I've also learned how to deal with it, and I do block people. I block a lot of people, because you can't abuse on my page. That's my home.
Right.
You know, you can't be abusive towards other women and other people on my page, because you've come here by choice. And I have, and it's my choice to block you or report you. I love reporting people. No, it's my most favorite.
Learning these are empowering tools, actually, which I've not used, but I understand why it is very healthy to use them, and I think that people should use them now.
But I do love the internet.
I also love it.
I love the internet.
I think it's amazing, and now I've started on YouTube. YouTube is a whole different animal.
All the best.
It's great fun. But tell me about this. I already know about it, but tell me why. Because as an actor, anyway, you're making an impact in so many ways, with the choices of films that you do, with the way that you lead your life, the conversations that you've been a part of. You said you took 6 months off to just rest, but you're also building.
Rest and build, yes, absolutely. So this is something that I've been working on for over 2 years now. My sister, who's also my co-founder, we felt like there's a gap in the market within the beverage categories for water specifically, because I will not drink from a plastic bottle. I am very well aware of the toxic chemicals that are leached into your water every time it's exposed to heat, and that pretty much happens the moment that bottle is packaged. Yes, there were glass variants, but they aren't always easily available. They are a lot more expensive, and they are heavy. You know, so people automatically lean towards drinking out of plastic. They are endocrine disruptors. A lot of underlying conditions that women are going through today, including infertility, are triggered by just the amount of microplastics and toxic chemicals that exist in your body. Because I was on this journey of not drinking from a plastic bottle, we realized that there is probably a space for a brand that addresses a lot of these issues that we as conscious consumers deal with on an everyday basis. So we started off as a water brand. We are entering many different categories because we are trying to create a clean beverage brand. The beverage industry is very, very abused. It's full of toxic chemicals, sugar, dyes, coloring, things that we don't even understand, and because we don't know what that means. You have children drinking it, you have like people with underlying conditions drinking it. Everybody across the board, right from energy drinks to any kind of beverage that you enjoy. And I want to kind of disrupt that. You know, come in with clean labels, clean claims, truly give good ingredients. Good ingredients, and everything that I'm trying to provide comes at a cost, and that's why I have set up a premium brand. But the hope is eventually I can reach a larger TG.
I hope so. What I love is that there's so much authenticity and passion. So, you know, when it comes to embracing fitness and wellness, it's not just for ourselves, it's also for the environment and for the people around us in the ecosystem. And whether it's, you know, the vegetarianism and the love for animals and the pup and the water, it all rings so true for both of you in the ways that you've approached your lifestyle. So I just want to thank you very much again for taking out the time, walking up the stairs, and being here, and really for sharing, because I know you've all, you know, both of you have done countless interviews, and I don't know how different this was, but for me it's just creating
it was a lot of fun.
It was
really nice. Also speaking our minds, and I think all three of us connected at the same level.
That's true.
You know, I mean, we all come from the same mindset of why and how we lead our life. Unapologetically.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Soha. This was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bhumi. Thank you so much, Yasmin. I think it was a really insightful and enriching conversation. And I'm sure that we've talked about so many things, whether it's conscious well-being, whether it's physical fitness, and of course Pilates. I think that the audience at home is going to get a lot of clarity and a lot of practical tips. To everyone watching or listening, thank you for joining us today. If this episode added value to your life, then please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. We will be back soon with another meaningful conversation that helps you understand your body, your well-being, and yourself a little bit better. Until next time, stay informed, stay healthy, and we will see you in the next episode.